How's it going, everyone? It's Vivi and welcome to a Jak and Daxter discussion video. So recently something unusual surfaced. From what I've been noticing, there's been a lot of talk on a possible Jak 4, quote unquote. I placed Jak 4 in quotes because at this point we don't know what a Jak 4 would look like. Am I mistaken? Why this sudden wave of curiosity? I don't understand. Here's how everything started. Back in March, on March 1st, 2018, Sony explained that they would have a larger focus on first-party games. First-party meaning their studios, the studios they own. Be it Sucker Punch, their Ghost of Tsushima, Naughty Dog, Last of Us Part 2, all that kind of stuff. Now Ratchet & Clank, Insomniac Games is a complete independent studio, but Sony owns that IP, seeing as how the game on the PS4 sold very well. Another one will be coming, especially after Marvel's Spider-Man PS4. Ratchet & Clank is not really known as a AAA title, but it sold. Sony will eventually go to Insomniac Games and tell them, hey, where's the next Ratchet & Clank game? If not, they have already spoken to Insomniac Games. And obviously Insomniac Games, even in their live streams, they're not going to say anything. Okay dude, where exactly are you going with this? Hear me out. Sony posted a job listing, which suggests a new team, a new development team, being formed in San Diego. This new team will also have involvement with Visual Arts Service Group, who are best known for the recent God of War, which I highly recommend, Uncharted, Death Stranding, The Last of Us, etc. Looking at the visuals and the feel of those games, you can already cross out Jak 4 or anything Jak and Daxter by this new team out of the list, alright? Unless of course they want to make this, which was scrapped by Naughty Dog in favor for The Last of Us, because the team back then thought they were doing us a disservice. In short, we're not going to get too much into that. Next, this new dev team, along with this visual studio at Sony, will collab with the well-known first-party studio at Sony. Why are people bringing up Jak and Daxter? It has to do with someone's LinkedIn profile. An employee who's working at Naughty Dog from San Diego, who's working on The Last of Us Part 2, right? In that profile, it also says unannounced project in San Diego. I'll leave the link to this LinkedIn in the description below. I mean, look, a new studio in San Diego, alright, who's gonna collab with a first-party studio, well-known, big studio, okay. An employee who works with Naughty Dog has San Diego in his profile, above unannounced project. So could this collab team be Naughty Dog? If it is Naughty Dog, okay, but I still don't understand why some people are hoping for Jak 4. First of all, you have to consider the following. The last Jak and Daxter game, despite its mediocrity according to a bunch of fans, was released 9 years ago. Fun fact, was originally being developed by Naughty Dog. They couldn't manage two projects at the same time, and this other project I'm referring to was Uncharted 2. They instead decided to give it to High Impact Games, so that they could focus more on Uncharted 2. Evan Wells back then had said they just couldn't manage it, so they give one project to another team. If Naughty Dog loves Jak so much, why didn't they go back? They could have easily approached Sony and, hey, we want to make a new Jak and Daxter game. Why didn't that happen? It's just that they decided to focus on more realistic narrative games, which sold very well. At the end of the day, it's all business. Neil Druckmann, who is now vice president at Naughty Dog, who was promoted back in March 2018, back in 2014, I know this is old news, but hear me out. And this has to do with the potential of Jak 4. This was back then. He said it would depend of the idea, and whether or not the studio as a whole would agree. In talking about the studio, remember these two famous quotes from Josh Scher from 2015? Sure, it's only one person completely disagreeing on another Jak and Daxter game, well, cartoony games in general, but you also have to consider that many of the old people who worked on Jak and Daxter back in the day have moved on, guys. Jak 4? Sure. If it were to happen, will it even feel the same? After Jak X, Jason Rubin and Andy Gavin, the founders of Naughty Dog, they moved on. This is not the same team, guys. You have to consider this. Sure, Bruce Straley left Naughty Dog in 2017. He was best known for directing Last of Us and Uncharted 4. And in 2014, this is what he said about a world of Jak and Daxter being brought back, that it's difficult. And about this new dev team in San Diego, Bruce Straley could be a director. Again, Neil Druckmann at DICE 2018 explained that The Last of Us was originally supposed to be first party, but they moved on to third instead. And look, he said, who knows about the future? Maybe they might develop first party titles. Jak and Daxter is not first party, so whatever this this project is in San Diego, it could be a brand new IP. I know Josh Keaton, voice of Jack in The Lost Frontier, posted this picture, but come on guys, it doesn't mean it's Jack related. This might not even be at Naughty Dog Studios. This could be anywhere. Josh Keaton, he's done a lot of voiceover work, and he's now known for Marvel's Spider-Man. So I can't seem to connect the dots here. Do you honestly think Naughty Dog at this point would go back to Jak and Daxter, considering how the team has changed and looking at what Josh Scher said back in 2015? Like honestly, I'm a pretty optimistic guy, right? From all of the Sly videos I've made, I always tell you guys, I'm sure Sly 5 will happen eventually. But as for Jak and Daxter, it's just highly unlikely. One, the team has no interest apart from Neil Druckmann, okay, whatever. And two, all of the games they've developed so far have sold a lot more than Jak and Daxter. I'm really not trying to sound negative here, I'm just trying to go over all of the information which was shared within the span of a couple of years. I mean heck, sure Uncharted 4 was supposed to be the last one, well, major Uncharted title, but guys, this new project could be Uncharted 5. Which would Sony pick, Jak and Daxter or another Uncharted, knowing how Uncharted sold? Naughty Dog is pretty much an established studio for games like Uncharted and The Last of Us at this point, so I'm thinking Sony would immediately tell them, hey, you guys focus on Uncharted and let another studio focus on a more cartoony style game. A team who's fully passionate about Jak and Daxter, which Naughty Dog doesn't seem to be like at this point. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Ratchet & Clank PS4, Hat in Time, Yooka-Laylee, platformers are starting to come back slowly, so Sony for sure has noticed this. So with that, what I think is gonna happen, if anything at all in the future, a Jak and Daxter reboot or call it a reimagining of the first game. I'm imagining a similar situation to Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. A new studio who has a lot of heart and passion for Jak and Daxter will approach Sony with a prototype, and if they agree, Sony's gonna let them develop this game. Alright, I get it, Jak 1, 2, 3, and X got released in the PS2 Classic section on PS4, but really guys, that's a quick cash grab. That's how I see it. So as I said, a new team has to approach Sony. They might approve, they might disapprove. So with that being said guys, do not get your hopes up for Jak 4, okay? Just be careful. So with that being said, I think I've said enough, so as usual, do your stuff. If you agree or disagree with what I've said in the video, tell me why in the comment section below. And yep, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for watching.